Hello everyone, my name is Kai Siefert and I am the Managing Director of Riddle&Code Energy, the developer of the energy tokenization toolset MyPower.
And my name is Florian Flecker. I'm the Business Development Manager at Riddle&Code Energy Solutions. And Kai, today we're talking about energy tokenization.
I'm sure you ask yourself why to tokenize energy in the first place, and I can give you at least 15 good reasons why to tokenize energy, but actually there's only one reason to rule them all. And that is, we tokenize energy for the small ones to be seen. Now you could ask yourself, who are the small ones? The small ones are the kilowatt hours, the distributed, the heterogeneous, the non-energy experts, the prosumers and the energy communities. They are small, but they're many, and they're getting more and more. So according to latest statistics, we can count more than 5 million prosumers today in the European Union. Already 13 member states have put in place legislation that allow for the establishment of energy communities. And another 7 member states have drafted according legislation according to the Decide policy brief. So when we look at the front runners for energy communities, a country like Germany, for example, has far more than 800 energy cooperatives and energy communities. The Netherlands also have more than 750 energy communities. And when we look at our nation, Austria, we have already more than 300 energy communities. So it's safe to say that the small ones are becoming a significant market player in the energy system.
Right, so I think we see a lot of movement already going on towards energy transition and in general for consumers to become energy independent. So we kind of compare the old energy system with the new one, but how does this transition look like?
Yeah, so it's very important that we understand that it's not only the legislation that needs to change. Mm-hmm. So when we look at the transaction layer of the current energy system, for example, it has been the result of many decades following the goal to sell the ever-growing outputs of fossil fuel power plants. So the system was transitioning from the kilowatt to the megawatt, from the megawatt to the gigawatt, and to the terawatt hours. This system is not suited to host renewable energy sources. According to the European energy regulator ACER, grid balancing costs have doubled in the past 5 years to reach a staggering 3.6 billion euro in the year 2021. So it's safe to say that a pure evolution of the current system is not enough. What we need, Florian, is actually an energy system revolution.
I see, but then I think if we're talking about the old system and the new one, but what's so wrong with the old one?
Well, in the fossil fuel heavy energy system of the past, a few tens of thousands fossil fuel power plants were producing energy around the world when it was needed, basically on demand if you wish. Now, in a zero-emission energy system of the future, it's hundreds of millions of very heterogeneous energy sources that produce energy locally whenever the sun is shining or the wind is blowing.
And I think if we look a little bit more into the main problems that consumers or energy communities face, I think we can come up with a list of a few main problems that you want to elaborate a little bit maybe.
Absolutely, Florian. So it's safe to say that the legacy IT system is not suited to manage this kind of complexity that comes with the necessity to integrate renewable energy sources. And there are actually already several good studies out there that look at the problems of energy communities and prosumers in the European Union. I can again quote the Decide policy brief, which says that the main problems of these players are data access, the problem to allocate the energy, how to really make sure that the load between production and consumption is balanced.
Yeah.
And also the fact that especially in many grid levels, especially in the medium to low voltage grid levels, marketplaces are still missing.
We, with our MyPower toolset, came up with a tangible way on how to enable prosumers to do exactly what we're just trying to say and enable them and give them superpowers. So do you want to maybe elaborate a little bit on what we call the superpowers and what our dual token model actually is?
Sure. You said it very well. We want to bring a little bit of science fiction into these kinds of products, right? So we're talking to non-energy experts. We want to make it exciting, we want to make it simple and tangible. So we design our products and the whole MyPower energy tokenization toolset following the vision of an exoskeleton for prosumers. So if you wish, everyone that uses the exoskeleton, even if he or she is not an energy expert, has the abilities to lift even the heaviest and most complicated loads in the energy system. At the heart of the exoskeleton, there is a source token.
Okay.
So the source token is actually a genius thing. So it helps anyone to become a prosumer. A source token reflects and represents a physical energy asset, and it can be broken down into small units. So everyone can become, can participate in power plants, even with small amounts of money, 10 to 50 euros. So once you buy a source token, you become an energy producer.
We just said the source token is a digital twin of an energy source, but the energy token is, I would say, also called a digital copy of the kilowatt hour. So really the energy produced per hour represented in a token. So what we can do with this, it's kind of a trading document, right? To purposely designed to travel through energy communities that allows peer-to-peer trading. So this is kind of what we're trying to approach with this dual token design.
I think there's also one very important thing that we need to understand when we talk about a very innovative element such as an energy token. And that is that an energy token perceives its power through its simplicity, through its accessibility, and through its universality, which means that everyone who wants to participate in this green energy ecosystem understands what this energy token can be used for and what it stands for. And that makes it easy also for digital service providers to integrate this trading document into their own workflows.
When we talk about these energy tokens, and you talked about the simplicity by design and universality, but I think it also needs to be complex in a way where it really matters. So what we can do with our energy token, we can add essential metadata fields, right? So here we can talk about the time where this token has been produced, or the location, what is the energy source, to really add the essential data. If we're talking about a token lifecycle and a full lifecycle trading, what do we actually understand with this, and what does it mean for us?
Yeah, so we did not just create a token because it's fun, we came up with this dual token design that is at the heart of the MyPower energy tokenization toolset, because it can be used to basically represent all major business processes in modern energy trading. And one of the most important things that it needs to be able to do, one of the most important capabilities, if you wish, is its ability to live basically through different time zones, right? So the token has a life, if you want, a pre-life. Now also, obviously, it's very important to understand when the energy has been actually produced. So this is an information that's been given. And then obviously, it's very, very important also to get a timestamp when the energy has been actually consumed. So if you wish, an energy token will never become a walking dead or a zombie. The energy token has always a big value for its user. even in its last stage of its life cycle, it is a very, very important as a certificate of origin and can be used further on in the value chain.
Giving a little bit of a more holistic overview, and we just summarized a little bit this dual token approach with the source token, the heart of the exoskeleton, or in a more science fiction way, the Iron Man suit powered by the source token, and the energy token that here makes it that simple, right, for energy service providers to develop extra features on top of our MyPower toolset. And here we can see our toolset already allows a lot of different features or a lot of different services, such as real peer-to-peer trading or smart home integration. But the most important is that this interface, this toolset, is so open that and very accessible to service providers to add additional services.
Absolutely. So if you wish, the dual token system allows the creation of like a Swiss Army knife, right? So by giving out an energy token and a source token, we empower the prosumer. It becomes much more easy for service provider to discover the prosumer and to understand the important information about this prosumer. So it becomes very, very easy to offer them services. And every service that is offered to them and that is maybe subscribed by the prosumer adds another functionality to their energy asset, and therewith improves its profitability and its flexibility. So at the end of the day, it's more fun to be a prosumer.
I cannot agree more, and I think our total goal or overall goal would be that in an energy community where you can see actually these energy tokens flying around, being traded from one prosumer, so from one consumer that is able to produce energy himself or herself, to trade it with its fellow community members. And with this dual token approach, we're trying to make most complex energy community setups, such as accounting or billing processes, that simple and very easy to transact.
Absolutely. So if you wish, I think that's really one of the main problems of energy communities nowadays, that current IT systems, they're not suited to do many-to-many accounting. They usually are optimized for bilateral supply contracts where you have a producer and a consumer. Now that obviously, as stated before, the situation is completely different, right? You have people and energy community members who are maybe the producer in the morning, and then in the afternoon they're consuming energy. So you have a very complex many-to-many situation and multilateral contracts and energy sharing. And there is no IT system that can really manage this kind of complexity until now, because now we have the energy tokenization toolset of MyPower, which makes many-to-many accounting and billing as easy as following the path of an energy token through the wallets of the different energy community members. And that's a fact, and it's basically a reflection of reality and makes it very easy to export then lists of transactions and so on and so forth.
So what you just got was a little bit an outlook of our vision, of our future roadmap, and we talked about and introduced our token model design. But what's the status quo?
Absolutely. So obviously this whole thing is a great vision, and we like to make things more exciting for prosumers. But we are very, very proud that is at this point in time also reality. So we started implementing products based on the dual token system as soon as 2020 in Vienna with our strategic development partner Wien Energie, which is the largest renewable and also regional energy supplier of Austria. And here we have, 2 products online and to be used by the prosumers of the world. I think we started with a citizen participation product. It's called MyPower Invest, and it just makes the process of creating shares out of large power plants and selling these shares, digital shares, online, very, very easy. So actually, it makes, has the power to make everyone a prosumer. Wien Energie has it already active since the beginning of 2021.
All right.
At the moment, Wienenergie has more than 1,000 customers using the product, and they sold more than 5,000 source token already, where one source token represents roughly one solar panel or 300 watt peak.
Okay, so just to make it clear, what is then the minimum investment I need to give in to an asset to be part of the system, or to acquire a source token? Are we talking about thousands of euros, or
No.
hundreds, or
That's a trick. That's a trick, Florian. So absolutely, we are focusing on micro investors. We want that everyone, like from the student to your grandmother, can invest into solar assets, even with very, very small amounts of money. And it is up to our B2B customers to configure the platform, to their likes.
That gave us an overview about what we call MyPower investment. But what's then the community product then?
Yeah, that's very exciting because it's very new, and it is no longer just a research and development project. Peer-to-peer trading has been, I think, one of the most prominently discussed solutions of blockchain for energy.
Mm-hmm.
But we are very happy to say that we have a peer-to-peer trading product ready to use in Austria. And obviously, we are very, very happy that the Austrian government took the decision to introduce a new market role to the energy system following the Renewable Energy Directive from the European Union.
Mm-hmm.
And now, since 1st of January 2022, people in Austria can establish renewable energy communities and citizen energy communities. And MyPower Community is the product for these kind of customers.
All right. So when you're talking about renewable energy communities, so they're getting from a renewable energy source, such as solar, the energy for their own households, which is tradable among each other.
Exactly.
Right?
So you have a community which maybe, is made out of different kind of members. Some of them are prosumers, so they're also producing electricity, but others might only be consumers that want to use the surplus energy that's produced by their neighbors. Basically, MyPower does two great things for these kind of customers. In the first step, it gives them access to near real-time data of their smart meters. So we are the first ones who have finished the development of a device that can read the data that comes out of the smart meter. And we have these devices obviously at the solar power plant or any kind of power plant that is part of the energy community, and at the consumption side, so at the smart meters of our customers. And this helps us to give them near real-time consumption recommendations. So we can tell them if they should maybe consume more at a given point in time, or if they should maybe wait a little bit with consumption heavy activities. So this is a very important thing. We are also compatible with this recommendation engine into smart home solutions. So we already integrated into Shelly and into the Sonar frameworks here. Mm-hmm. But all of this is just a nice to have when you cannot basically account for this transaction. And that's our second solution for energy communities. By using MyPower Community, now it's very easy for them to do the accounting and billing of this peer-to-peer energy trading transaction. So it's a nice commercial all-in-one package for energy communities.
All right, so we can actually see already a product portfolio that gives big and real benefit to energy communities, and most importantly, as we said in the beginning, to every individual, and we are trying to enable them with superpowers. So if you're interested in what we're doing at Riddle&Code Energy Solutions or want to know more about MyPower, please get in touch. I hope it was interesting, and I think it was a very nice overview of our current activities, right?
Yeah, thanks. It was great fun to talk with you, Florian. I just want to say one last thing, and that is basically one of our main design principles at Riddle&Code Energy, and that is energy independence starts with data independence. So we are very much looking forward to anyone be it a digital service provider or be it energy communities or any kind of other player who can bring relevant capabilities to these new types of customers, to get in touch with us and see what we can make with new ways of data access for energy communities. Thanks,
Perfect.
man.
Thank you very much, and thank you for listening.